Imagine waking up tomorrow morning, and every religion on earth is suddenly gone. No churches ringing bells, no mosques calling people to prayer, no temples filled with incense, no Bibles, no Qurans, no monks, no priests, no heaven, no hell, no God watching humanity. At first, many people would celebrate. Finally, humanity is free. Free from religious conflict, free from guilt, free from ancient rules, free from fear of divine judgment. For a moment, the world might feel liberated, but then something terrifying would begin happening. Because religion was never just about worship. Religion was psychological structure, and without structure, human beings slowly begin falling apart. Because whether people admit it or not, humans are creatures addicted to meaning. We need purpose. We need identity. We need hope. We need answers to impossible questions. Why are we here? Why do we suffer? What happens after death? Does good and evil actually matter? Religion gave billions of people answers powerful enough to survive reality itself. And without those answers, humanity may not become free. Humanity may become existentially lost, because the most dangerous thing a human can experience is not pain. It is meaninglessness. Part 1. Unedict. Religion built human civilization. Modern people often underestimate how deeply religion shaped humanity. Religion was not some small side belief humans casually practiced. Religion was civilization itself. Before modern governments existed, religion created moral systems, social order laws, rituals, traditions, identity, meaning. Entire civilizations were built around sacred beliefs. Ancient humans lived in terrifying conditions. Disease could wipe out entire villages overnight. Children died constantly. Famine destroyed populations. Violence was everywhere. Humans had almost no control over existence. And religion gave chaos emotional structure. Imagine ancient humans staring at storms, death, disease, and endless suffering without understanding anything. Religion transformed fear into explanation. Thunder became divine power. Death became transition. Suffering became meaningful. That psychological comfort mattered enormously. Because humans can survive horrible realities if they believe those realities mean something. But meaningless suffering destroys the human spirit, and perhaps that is why religion emerged independently in almost every civilization on Earth. Humans naturally searched for something greater than themselves, not because humans were weak, but because consciousness itself is terrifying. Animals do not sit awake at night wondering why existence exists, whether life matters, whether death is the end. Humans do. And religion protected the human mind from existential collapse. Part 2. The human mind needs meaning. Modern society believes humans are rational creatures, but humans are not rational first. Humans are emotional first. Meaning comes before logic. Purpose comes before facts. That is why even in modern society filled with science and technology, people still search desperately for meaning. Because science explains mechanisms, but science does not explain why humans should care, why suffering hurts emotionally, why existence feels important, why love matters, why morality matters. Science can explain how stars form, but it cannot explain why humans stare at stars, feeling existential awe. Religion answered emotional questions science cannot fully satisfy, and if religion disappeared completely, humanity would face something psychologically dangerous, existential emptiness. Because once humans lose higher meaning, everything starts feeling temporary. Love becomes temporary. Morality becomes temporary. Sacrifice becomes temporary. Life itself becomes temporary. And when people deeply believe nothing matters eternally, human behavior changes dramatically, because humans are capable of surviving suffering, but humans struggle deeply to survive purposelessness. That is why modern people often feel emotionally exhausted, despite having more comfort than any civilization before them. Humans solved material survival, but not existential survival. And perhaps religion functioned like psychological armor against the terror of existence itself. Part 3. Tout. What happens to morality? This is where things become uncomfortable. Many people claim morality would survive perfectly fine without religion, and to some extent, that is true. Humans naturally evolved empathy and cooperation because social survival required it. But religion transformed morality into something sacred. It turned morality into cosmic law. Do not kill. Do not steal. Care for others. Protect the weak. These ideas became more than social rules. They became divine commands connected to eternal consequences, and that changes human psychology enormously, because humans behave differently when they believe their actions matter eternally. Judgment exists. Morality transcends personal opinion. Now, imagine religion suddenly disappears. Many good people would remain good, but eventually society begins asking dangerous philosophical questions. If morality is only human invention, then who decides what is truly right? Governments, majorities, powerful people. And history shows how terrifying humans become when morality becomes flexible, without sacred values. Morality risks becoming negotiation instead of principle. And humans are extremely skilled at justifying evil when it benefits them. Religion did not eliminate human darkness, but it often restrained it. Even deeply flawed belief systems can psychologically limit chaos, because humans fear consequences beyond death itself, remove eternal accountability completely. And society changes in ways we may not fully understand. Part 4. The collapse of existential comfort. Religion does something modern society struggles to replace. It gives suffering meaning. That may be one of the most important psychological functions religion ever served. Imagine losing someone you love deeply. Religion tells millions of grieving people you will see them again. That belief changes grief itself. Now remove that completely. Suddenly, death becomes final, silent, permanent, meaningless. For many minds, that realization becomes psychologically unbearable. Humans desperately need hope against death, because consciousness creates terrifying awareness. Humans know they will die, and religion softened that terror for thousands of years. Without religion, many people would experience existential panic, unlike anything modern society has seen before. Because modern culture already struggles with anxiety, depression, addiction, emotional numbness, loneliness, and that is with religion still existing. Now imagine removing every spiritual framework entirely. Humans would search desperately for replacement meaning, because the human mind cannot tolerate emptiness forever. Eventually, something fills the void. Always. Part 5. Humans would create new religions. This is the part most people misunderstand. Even if traditional religion disappeared tomorrow, humans would immediately create new forms of religion. Because humans are naturally religious creatures psychologically, not necessarily spiritually, but psychologically. Humans crave belonging, identity, higher purpose, moral certainty, transcendence. That instinct never disappears. It only changes shape. If God disappears, humans worship other things. Politics becomes religion. Celebrities become religion. Technology becomes religion. Money becomes religion. Social movements become religion. Look at modern society carefully. People already behave religiously toward ideologies. They defend beliefs emotionally, attack heretics socially, seek moral purity publicly, divide into tribes, search for meaning through identity. The human brain naturally turns ideas into sacred systems. Because humans cannot psychologically survive without believing in something larger than themselves, even people who reject religion often unconsciously replace it with status, fame, success, political identity, social validation. Humans still seek salvation, only now salvation comes through achievement and attention instead of spirituality. But those replacements rarely satisfy people deeply. Because material success cannot fully solve existential hunger, that is why wealthy societies still experience emotional emptiness. Humans need more than comfort. Humans need meaning. Part 6. Would humanity become better or worse? Many people believe religion causes violence and division, and history proves religion absolutely contributed to terrible suffering, wars, oppression, extremism, fear. But removing religion would not remove human darkness, because the real problem is not belief itself. The real problem is human nature. Humans fought before religion. Humans killed before religion. Humans sought power before religion. Religion amplified some human evil, but it also restrained some human evil, and that contradiction is difficult to accept, because humans want simple answers. But humanity itself is not simple. The uncomfortable truth is this: humans can turn almost anything into fanaticism, even atheism, even science, even politics, even morality itself. Because humans crave certainty, and certainty easily becomes extremism. So a world without religion would probably not become peaceful utopia. Humanity would simply create new systems worth fighting over. Because conflict is deeply connected to ego fear, tribal identity power, survival instincts. Not religion alone. Religion was never the only source of human conflict. Sometimes it was simply the language conflict used. Part 7. Tasani, the real question. Maybe the real question is not, would religion disappear? Maybe the real question is, can humans psychologically survive without higher meaning? Because religion survived thousands of years for a reason, it answered emotional needs. Modern society still struggles to solve. Needs like purpose of hope, belonging, morality of transcendence, emotional comfort against death. Humans are not machines. Humans are meaning-seeking creatures. And when meaning disappears, people become spiritually lost. Maybe that explains modern society more than people realize. Technology advanced, comfort increased, entertainment exploded. Yet, emotional emptiness also increased. People abandoned traditional meaning systems, but never truly replaced them. So now millions drift through life, overstimulated, emotionally exhausted, disconnected, spiritually numb. Not because humans became weaker, but because humans may require deeper meaning than modern life provides. If religion disappeared tomorrow, humanity would probably not become completely free. Humanity would become existentially unstable. Because humans do not merely survive through food and technology, humans survive through meaning. And perhaps that is the deepest truth about our species. No matter how advanced civilization becomes, humans still look toward the unknown, searching for something greater than themselves. Maybe religion was never only about God. Maybe it was humanity's attempt to survive the unbearable weight of existence.